It's good to see you guys. Proud of our team, proud of our players and our coaches. You know, this was a standard game. I think not having stuff from the outside kind of push us to achieve in this game, I think is a big is a big thing for us. You know, having it come from the inside. You know, intrinsically being able to push yourself. I think, you know, just looking at it from a big picture view, right? The more we can get away from, hey, this was a great game, and so now we're going to be a big fat cat and kind of let stuff come to us, and then you start slow in games, or, you know, hey, this was a loss, or this was something we didn't do well, so now we're going to be way motivated, and just that roller coaster that I think as a fan just makes college football so fun to watch and follow. I think as a coach and as a player, just makes it. You know, that has nothing to do with winning. It has a lot to do with losing. And so the ability to intrinsically push yourself, right, and hold your teammates accountable, and really you know, bring your best daily. The best would be what we would call our standard, and you know, this was a standard game. You know, if we could stack Mondays on top of Tuesdays on top of Wednesdays, and you know, it would be our standard versus theirs. So awfully proud of our team for that. I think that was a big step in the right direction. And so a lot of things we can get better at the same time. And so looking forward to attacking that here coming up in this bye. I'll take any questions you guys got.
Yeah, the complimentary football y'all played the last 2 weeks. Does that show a lot of growth in the team?
Yes, I appreciate you bringing that up. We talk about that quite a bit. We talk about team, then unit, then me, and I think, you know, there's so many facets and ways that shows up. You know, just having a team of no superstars, having a team of no, no selfish units. Right, and of just people backing each other up, like you say, like you go for it on fourth down, you don't make it. Defensively, come out and make a stand, or defensively, if we give up this, or we lose track of someone, or we lose a gap, and offensively, let's respond. And I think, you know, it's a team game, and so what allows us to be at our best is guys playing for each other and holding each other accountable and pushing each other to be their best, and I think that's showing up.
Dave, 0 penalties tonight. Is that?
How about that?
How gratifying is that?
I think it's a good step. You know, I think we talk about it quite a bit. I think, you know, looking at sport as a way to master yourself, I think is the approach, and I think, you know, I think for any type of self-mastery, there has to be a craft that you work. I think the craft, especially the harder the craft, brings out that mastery of self if you look at it like that. And, you know, I think football's hard, especially when you don't look at it that way, you know. It's more of like an outlet. It's more of like, you know, I'm pissed off at life. I'm going to take it all out when I'm playing football. And so to kind of flip that around is difficult. And so I appreciate their understanding and their listening and all of it, because it means a lot to me.
Dave, you mentioned earlier in the week that BYU is a physical team. You expected this to be a physical game. Like the toughness your team showed today, both sides of the ball?
Yeah, it was important to run the ball. You know, we have our goals, and one of them was to run the ball and stop the run. And so, you know, offensively, I think it's been somewhere where I think it's a great lesson for them on just, you know, it's the same guys, a lot of them, that really struggled to run the ball, maybe in spring and in fall camp, and it just shows you what confidence can do, and confidence from coaches, right? Confidence from teammates, and then finally confidence in yourself. And we're a pretty strong, confident team in running the football right now. And I think, you know, once you do that, right, other things can kind of come to you, the throw game, the protection. You know, I look at it on the other side. For us on defense, there were times where, you know, didn't know if it was going to be a run or a pass, so we were pretty conservative on some of the creepers and pressures that we would normally give, because we value, BYU's ability to run the ball as well as they do. And so I think when you can establish the run, it tilts the game in your favor. And so really proud of the offense. I thought defensively, I think they were able to hit a shot play early, and we were kind of racing to get stuff fixed to stop them. We really didn't do that. Offensively, they kept trying to find new ways of throwing them. And so I think in that chase, they just, the run game kind of passed them by. And so anytime that happens, we'll take it, because I think there is still the ability to improve in that area. But I feel like we're making strides, and we're going to end up being a real physical team on both sides of it.
Can you just speak on Dylan Doyle? I mean, success on both sides of the ball, playing where you need him and making those plays, making an impact, but then also with his success, we've been able to speak with him a couple of times, and he's just a well-spoken, classy young man, and that seems to go hand in hand with everything you're preaching about being uncommon.
Yeah, I think Dylan is you mentioned it. Dylan's got a great heart. I think he's very the empathy with him is very strong. I think he can feel if stuff's real or not, and he can feel if if things are sincere and they're coming from the right spot. And I think he values the right spot. I think he is a really hard worker. I think his care factor is very strong. Comes from a great family, and is the son of a coach, and y'all want to root for guys like Dylan. I think Dylan's opportunities now are because of what he's done on the field, but what he's done off, and the things that he is, but also the things that he hasn't allowed himself to do, which I appreciate. And I think, Dylan wants to be a coach. He's going to be a great one.
Just in terms of Abram Smith, what has he shown you? What are those bell cow back qualities that he has that allows him to get 30 carries and be effective with those?
He likes physicality. I think Abram is one where I think if he had his choice, I think he would run into stuff, and I think he's probably been doing that for a long time. And I think, there's just a difference from dudes that, will look for openings or look for maybe doors, and there's guys that'll just run through walls. And I think when you have someone that has that ability to, or that want to run through a wall and the ability to do it, just that can transform your offense. And I feel like he's done that.
The sack by Franklin that Peach recovered, that was kind of a tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
What did that tell you about just how big of a momentum swing was that for you guys?
It was a big one. I think it speaks to the complementary football. It speaks to guys rising up and the moment not getting too big. I think the next step for us would be in a road environment with the crowd kind of coming down, us making a play like that. But I think TJ is a great example of someone that's has gotten better and better and better. And I think the other day we were talking about sports cars and Ram trucks and all of it. He is someone that's right in the middle of that transformation. And I think he likes sports cars, and so to kind of transform himself into that Ram truck has been a big piece for him. And so I'm happy for him, because I think these last 2 weeks have been his best. And I think on and off the field it's reflected. It's funny how that works, how when you're not on lists and you're getting to class on time and you're doing all the stuff right, how the on the field stuff works out right too.
Dave, was this the best offensive line play that you've had? I know you'll have to go and look film, but no sacks and the rushing yards y'all had, was this their best?
I don't know. I think run game wise, it felt like that. I think, and our guys would tell you that there's a whole lot better they can do. And I think, I look at like Connor Galvin and Connor coming up after a big play on defense, going, hey, we got this. We're going to get it right now. And they go get it right now. And I look at Zay, having someone step on his leg and having to, come out for a minute and then coming back in and fighting through it. I think these are guys that have been through all the lows, man, and have been through have been in the dark, and I think the opportunity to be on the other side of that is something they're fighting hard for, and it makes you want to fight right there with them.
Dave,
On the-
post-game locker room celebration.
Mhm.
Take us through that.
It's like this. That's about it. Yeah, man. It's like this right here.
His song, too, Dave, I Got the Joy. Where did that come from?
That was from before, I think. I'm not sure. I think with Coach Matt Rule's staff, they're singing a bunch of songs, and that was something that I think actually the first win we had a year ago, I didn't know that there was like all these songs. And so we win, and then the guys start singing, and I just kind of step off to the side. I didn't know the words, and I wasn't, if I knew them, I wasn't going to sing anyways. But I'm just listening to them. But then we started kind of talking about it, and let's kind of focus in on one thing. And Leadership Council they love this song. And this is a song that Wetzel loves to sing, and we sing it during chapel, and it's been a big piece.
17-7 was the score, and you did the onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about that point in the game you thought, hey, this might be a good time to try this?
Yeah. So throughout the film study, we noticed that it was there, and so they were wide, the interior there, and then they left early, and so we wanted to have a few kind of confirmations of that. And so I think we had 2 prior to that, and so then I just felt like those things are best before halftime, before things kind of become a this or that, and then I know with they were aiming to get the ball back in the start of the third. So if we could steal a possession and score, I think we're just trying to find ways of on offense they're trying to hit deep balls, and they continue to. Offensively we would kind of get to spots and not close it out, and so we're trying to get that knockout shot. So that's what that was about.
Dave, more to play, but you said you wouldn't talk about bowl eligibility last week.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you're here with more insight, what does it mean, though, to get to that first threshold for this program?
I mean, I appreciate the question. I don't really see it as like a threshold. I have to imagine, I guess I'm thinking about it now, I imagine I guess it is, but for me, this was a standard game, and this was just to be out of, we're in it, we just don't want to be of it, where it's like, every call where the ref makes get you down or get you up, or, we're winning and now we're happy, and now we're losing, now we're sad, or, weeks after, or something happens on Saturday, and then that kind of dictates how we're going to operate the following week. I think so much of that is college football, and so just for us to not be like that, and if it's not that, we're talking about things that you can't control, then it's like the things that you can, and having your best Monday and Tuesday and all of it. And there was a couple dudes I think that didn't know this was homecoming week, which I met. Homecoming is such a big thing here, but I actually thought that was kind of cool, and so it was like by Wednesday, Thursday, they didn't know, and then they knew, but I think they're so locked in to kind of let's do the best we can with the day that we got, and so I think we'd want to continue that. I think that will kind of keep the inside, and the outside on the outside.
If you go for it on 4th down in the red zone, don't get it, you go for it again right there before halftime, don't get it, leave those points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, do you wish you would have made a different decision? And what kind of message do you give to the team in those moments when those fail?
Yeah, I think that we're going to be aggressive, and I think touchdowns, there's more points with touchdowns than there are going to be with field goals, and I think, towards the end of the game, I think really I think the analytics said on that last touchdown that we scored, I think it was 4th down, right? They said to kick a field goal there. So and that was like on the 1-inch line, or there's something. And so we went for it there too. But I think like the ability to, to put defenses on edge, right? So that they have to, I think that helps you on 3rd down, when they don't know if are we playing 2 downs here, or are we playing 1? And then I think the offensively, it gives guys confidence that it'd be no different than if I'm up at the plate and what's the count, right? I don't always have to choke up on my bat. I can swing freely, and I think those things pay off. And I think, really, to be honest, those things probably we needed to get the thing going offensively. And so, I go back to games to where we take field goals in those stead, and then it kind of becomes a field goal game, and then you're fighting for it at the end. And so I've been on the other side of that too.
What's your read on y'all's pass defense right now?
We have to get better pressure with 4 guys. I think, generally we would have creepers to do that. And creepers it's a 4-man rush, but it's unconventional guys doing it. So maybe a corner, a star, or a linebacker, and there's usually movement with the front to do that. That was way limited today, and again, because of the wide zone aspect. And, when the game was kind of back and forth, didn't want to get into a spot like that and then have them bust a wide zone on us. And so there's a 4-man rush with a lot of too high safety, and just our rush was not what you'd want there. And so I think that is one area we've really got to improve. I think to defend the run without stunts and twists and all of it, which was a fair characteristic of last year's defense, I think we've been able to do that. I think defending the pass, we need to be able to do that as well without creepers and pressure and all of it. And so, we're going to be tested here in a couple weeks with some good throw games we're going to have to build a rush for.
Dave, how key was it to hold Algier to 33 yards rushing?
Yeah, really key. I think that first run, it looked like he was shot out of a cannon. I don't know if you guys remember that run. It's like this guy looks fast and physical. I think he was the key really going in the game, just with their offense and how and the energy that they had. He would generally run people over, and their sideline would go crazy, and then their momentum is set at that point. And so just not wanting that to happen and taking that away, I think I give a lot of credit to our front seven and we talk about our trucks up there and all that, but those guys played big. They played with their hands. They were able to get knocked back, much improved from earlier in the year.
With Gary maturing and the offensive line picking up, have you opened up the playbook more, or are they just executing the same plays better?
It's more of that. I think the open up the playbook, I think, so it's more of we're executing this stuff really well, and so then people are making more adjustments to take our base stuff away, which now opens up, curveballs and change-ups to the fastball that we've been throwing, if that makes sense. And so I think it's more of that type of approach. And so I think the better we are at what we do and who we are, right, the more people will overshift and overplay that particular hand, the more it opens up other hands. And, I think today, especially that second half was a good example of that.
I know they have great respect for Brigham Young, Eric, Mateos, and Jeff. What did it mean today, you think? Is it anything extra special, could you tell?
I think, I know they wanted to win pretty strong, and I know that, they know that BYU is a tough out. I think it's been a while since they've lost 2 in a row. I think that, they're a physical team. They're a very mature team. They're generally a team that doesn't beat themselves. And so I think they knew that they needed to bring an A game to this thing. And so, they always work hard, and I think they feel like that with just about all the stuff. It could be a Thursday scrimmage, and they feel like that. But I'm appreciative of them and their effort. I'm glad they're on our side.
Dave, your thoughts on the open week and what you will look to accomplish your goals during that extra time?
A lot of connection with our players. There'll be good, bad tape meetings. So, hey, this is from the position coach and the coordinator. Like, this is where we see you. Here's the things you're doing well on video. examples. Here's the things you can improve on, and just meeting with them. And so there's no, I'm thinking I'm doing this while we're over here thinking you're doing that. So that'd be number one. Two would be self-scout. So we'll have our defense help with opponent self-scout and vice versa. So look at us as if we're game planning us and seeing, things that that protrude or stick out that have to be addressed. And then, recruiting would be a big factor. So we'll have guys on the road, going to high schools and high school games. And then the last piece would be, opponent study for Texas, starting on that.
I know BYU had some people here. This was probably your first packed stadium. Was that just atmosphere? What was it like?
It's cool, man. Yeah, it was nice. Hopefully we get a couple more games like that. I think you can feel that when you're down on the sidelines. You can feel that when it was third down, it got loud. And so I think, we're working to get it to where it needs to be.
Thanks, Gilbert.
Thank you, guys.